I got held at gunpoint, and they told me that there is no escaping, there is no leaving, there is no telling.
Deven Tucker spent most of his life trapped in circumstances beyond his control. It started with childhood neglect by his parents that shaped his view of himself and the world.
I felt empty, just like nobody cared. Eventually, it got to the point where I thought, well, maybe this is the norm, just for my life. Maybe this is how it's supposed to be.
The only time he felt loved was when he was with his grandmother, who brought him to church and taught him to pray.
When nobody else was around, I could rely on Grandma, and I was expecting her to be there forever. Things got dark. Things went south, and she passed away.
By the time he was in middle school, he'd run away from home and traded arguments with his mom for chaos on the streets of Detroit. In the years that followed, Devon made thousands of dollars selling drugs. Still, he remained trapped in fear.
I felt like there was no security. I was always worrying, always stressed out about who's after me. Even my best friends, are they after me, It's not just the police, it's the ones that are close to you.
His fears became reality when police raided his house. They seized drugs and $200,000 in cash. Devon was facing 15 to 25 years in prison. As he sat in jail waiting for trial, he remembered what his grandmother taught him about prayer.
So I prayed in jail, and I said, God, I don't know if you're real or not, but if you are, if you let me go, I'll stop selling drugs. I'll quit. Went to court, had my hearing, and I was free.
Devon was released on a technicality and never sold drugs again. Needing income, he joined a company that takes young people state to state selling magazines. He soon found out it was a front for a sex trafficking ring.
I was stuck. There's no getting out. I was held at gunpoint, and I've watched people get beaten, left almost for dead. Where am I gonna go if I'm being followed in every room? Where am I gonna go if there's a van following me in every neighborhood? Who am I gonna call? I don't have a cell phone. You get desperate for freedom, but then you also give up. It's like, why try? Why bother when all angles have been blocked off?
For the next year and a half, Devon was forced to have sex with strangers. Trafficked through 11 states, and desperate for freedom, he spent 3 days praying for rescue. Then the next day, while selling magazines, he knocked on the door of a family involved with Florida Abolitionists, a group dedicated to freeing people from sex slavery. They sensed he was in danger and offered him help.
He says, do you want help? The way he looked at me, the way he said it, I had an understanding. You want to help me leave my situation.
The family was able to rescue Devon from his captors and gave him new hope.
He said something that triggered. He said, for God so loved the world, John 3:16, that he gave his only begotten son. Then he quoted it different. He said, for God so loved Devon that he gave his only begotten son. And it hit me personally in a way. And I thought about the times I've been shot, stabbed, locked up, the times that I went through, throughout just my whole life, from elementary all the way up until, now, you did this because you loved me. This was not just saving me from hell. You love me. And that reality is what, yes, Lord, I accept you as my Lord and Savior. Thank you for what you did for me.
That day, Devon was rescued physically and spiritually. When he surrendered his life to Christ, he was finally set free.
Everything that I never had, he completely did the opposite and turned it around and gave it to me. Complete restoration. It had to start out with God's grace, and that's what I'm thankful for, just the blessings that come with it. And I mean blessings in the sense of just being able to wake up and feel the freedom. God has given me a family. I just thank God for every ounce of it, every drop.
He shares his story, hoping others who are being trafficked will find help as they cry out to God for freedom.
God hears you. Every prayer, every thought, and there is hope. And if He can set me free, then He can help you get free.